The tedious, brief scene of Pyramus and Thisbe, very full of tragical mirth, is one of the funniest sequences in the whole of Shakespeare. This is the very bad play put on by Peter Quincy's troupe of rude mechanicals led by Bottom the Weaver that they have rehearsed in the forest and now performed before Theseus and Hippolyta. It's funny partly because of the deliberately bad poetry. "Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams," says Bottom. But it's also funny in a more complex way because of its theatrical self-consciousness. It is a play that tells us a lot about plays. We've seen that in some of the theatres, members of the audience would sit on stools on the stage and engage in banter with the actors. And it's certainly the case in the performance of Pyramus and Thisbe that the on-stage audience, the lovers now reunited, and the courtiers are an important part of the action. They give their reactions and asides the whole time. They sometimes tease the actors, sometimes kindly, sometimes cruelly. One of the funniest scenes is when Snug the Joiner comes on playing the part of a lion. He's been worried that the ladies in the audience are going to be scared of the lion, so he reassures them that they need not be. "You ladies, you whose gentle hearts do fear the smallest monstrous mouse that creeps on floor, may now perchance both quake and tremble here, when lion rough in wildest rage doth roar. Then know that I, one Snug the Joiner, am a lion fell, nor else no lions dam." So by saying that I am Snug the Joiner, he's telling them, it's all right, I'm not really a lion. It's only a play. "This is the silliest stuff I ever heard," says Hippolyta. But Theseus replies interestingly, "The best in this kind are but shadows, and the worst are no worse, if imagination amend them." Actors, he says, are always like shadows. They're not real people, they're the shadows of real people. And it requires the imagination of the audience to make the leap to believe that they are real. Part of the joke about the lion not being real, it is just a stage prop of a lion's head, is that earlier in the play, when Pyramus and Thisbe has been in rehearsal in the forest, Bottom has had an ass's head put on him by Robin Goodfellow, and that has then led to the extraordinary scene where he and Titania make love, the queen of the fairies and the ass. The fact that the lion's head is obviously a stage prop encourages the audience to imagine that the ass's head of Bottom is not a stage prop, but a real transformation, a real translation from man to beast. Of course, in reality, it is a stage prop, and at some level the audience know that. But the complex, many-layered quality of the illusion in Midsummer Night's Dream constantly asks questions about what is real and what is dream, what is reality, what is imagination. The image of Bottom standing on stage with the ass's head is one of the great moments in Shakespeare. I'd give anything to have a sketch from someone who saw it in the Elizabethan theatre with the audience gathered round. Alas, we have no such sketch. That drawing of the Swan Theatre is the only image we have of the interior of a Shakespearean theatre from his own time. But down the ages, many artists have produced imaginary impressions of what the Elizabethan theatre might have been like. And one of my favourites is this one, which comes from the early 20th century, and it shows Bottom on stage wearing the ass's head, his fellow actors reacting in startled fashion, and gathered round we see the groundlings close to the stage, the galleries above with the more well-to-do members of the audience, and it gives a lovely sense of that single-room open-air theatre, of the close relationship, the sense of community, of sharing between the Shakespearean actor on the stage and the Shakespearean audience in the auditorium of the Globe.